Colt Hamilton here with Hamilton Native Outpost, and I want to show you, it's been raining quite a bit. We're pretty saturated soil. It rained last night. And I'm going to kind of show you what I think the streams in the Ozarks would have looked like at one time. So I'll do my best here. So you can see it rained last night. We got water running down off this hillside. This is some burnt seed production field where we grow diversity for selling seed. Anyways, you got another hillside over there, and you got a little stream coming down through there that's pretty concentrated. But what I really want to show you is this bottom here. And this is odd bottom here in the Ozarks. This has not been channelized, and this has not ever been plowed and put into corn, best we can tell by looking at the native species that are growing on it. It's kind of a wet bottom to start with. It's probably got a clay hardpan or a limestone bedrock underneath. Some soil stuff we done says there's about 18 inches of soil, which is probably mostly sediment that's settled out here over the years. But anyways, you see how you've got some flowing water there in the background, in the back of the, let's see, they're right at the top of the screen there now. You got some flowing water coming in, and then the main stream channel is right there at the top of the screen now. Running down through there. But then when it floods, that stream channel is probably running a foot of water, which is kind of its continual high flow point. And then after that, it spreads out into, I don't know, I can see a lot of different channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, 6 channels, depending on where you're at. And that is what I think a lot of the streams here in the Ozarks would have looked like at one time. You had a stream channel, but then during flood, the water spread out, went pretty slow down over, settling out sediment. All that grass is filtering it out. And these bottoms were great places for beaver, particularly to keep the brush out of the main channel. And also the beaver would have built dams and would have sub-irrigated it from underneath. So if you can imagine, if you got a 1 foot deep channel, that means you also got water running through the soil just a foot below the roots. So if a beaver builds up a dam, below the surface of the soil. So if a beaver builds up a dam 6 inches tall across that, he will raise the water level on a certain portion of that bottom by 6 inches, bringing the water up within 6 inches of the subsoil or the topsoil. So to kind of show you an example of what that looks like over here on this side of the road, got some bison grazing down there. The love and them early spring sedges. You can see these little ponds out there, not the big pond in the back, that was man-made, but that stream runs by that big pond, and you see that ponded water between here and there and that flooded timber. That was done by beaver. So the beaver flooded that with a dam, and it's actually a series of dams to step water down, made pools of water, some of them 4 feet deep. And they're spreading that channel out and flooding that timber so that they can safely go out there and eat the trees, which is what beaver do. They can cause problems, like we've got a culvert under the road right down here so we can get across the road to the other side. But that's really a man-made thing. That's not really the beaver's fault. And if they plug that culvert, there's things you could do besides get rid of them. I mean, you can't harvest them, trap them, whatever, but also there's beaver deceivers, which is a structure built at the entrance of the culvert to confuse them about where to put brush. The culvert stays open, and then the water flows on through, and the beaver build their dam at the end of it, at the end of the beaver deceiver instead of at the end of your culvert. Anyways, this is, I think, beaver, important part of the ecosystem, but mainly I wanted to show you what I think a healthy stream would look like if we could go back in time and see. So you'd have a permanent channel, and then you'd have all these little ribbon streams coming off of that permanent channel that spread the floodwater out and keep our water clean and pure, and also that would have helped filter the sediment out as well, and also build soil down here in the bottoms. And that's where a lot of your sedges grow. Things like to eat those sedges a lot in the winter, but they don't like the wet feet. So we're down here grazing this morning as the bison, but they're not going to stay down there longer than they have to. They're going to be up here on the hill. And I bet they almost drop some little natural piles of fertilizer as they're up here on the hill, bringing the nutrients back up from the bottoms where it's concentrated to the hilltops to start the downward cycle with gravity over again. Anyways, this has been Colt Hamilton with Hamilton Native Outpost. Hope you enjoy this video. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and our website.
We at Hamilton Native Outpost make these videos to share the unique knowledge that we have gained from over 40 years of working with native plants as we raise and sell native grass and wildflower seeds. If you found this video helpful, we need your help to get the message out. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment. It helps others to find us. Thank you.